Hey guys, welcome back. It's your brother in Christ, Weston. Thanks for joining me today. So today's article comes out of End Times Headlines. Let's get into it. Okay, in everything, Judge Dredd, iRobot, what is it? Minority Report, Blade Runner, 2049, Blade Runner, whatever, one before that, Cyberpunk 2077, like anything like cyber-esque, punkish, futuristic dystopia where machines, Skynet, Terminator, insert all that here, Autobots, Decepticons. This was definitely going to be a Decepticon. Here, let's read. Elon Musk unveils prototype of Tesla's humanoid robot, Optimus. What a great name. Optimus is the Autobot, and he fights for mankind and Cybertron. I love Transformers, by the way. I grew up on Transformers, love Beast Wars. I grew up in the Beast Wars era as well. It was one of my favorite toys to play with. I used to have them all. I'll give you my thoughts here in a minute. Let's check. It says here, Elon Musk showed off a new humanoid robot Friday at Tesla artificial intelligence event, part of the chief executive effort to shape the public's perception of the company as more than an electric vehicle maker. That makes sense. You've got the boring rig gig. You got SpaceX. You've got Neuralink, which you're trying to, this just is right up the alley of trying to merge man and machine. What was a Netflix show series that my wife and I watched? Only a couple episodes up, and then it got just kind of raunchy. Raunchy. I mean, it's just like there was just too much nudity in it, and I can't see stuff like that for me personally. I have too many triggers for stuff like that in my past, all that good stuff. Not good, but anyways, what is it? There was like these people, they would get sleeves, and I forgot what it's called. I'm not going to look it up because I don't feel like taking the time. But anyways, people's souls could be uploaded, or like their consciousness could be uploaded to a hard drive, right? To a cloud space. If they went into jail and they knew that the body was going to corrupt, they could hold on to the conscience, and they would sleep for like 250 years. Then they would create sleeves, and people could buy new designer bodies, right? Like designer babies, but designer bodies. And then they could take the conscience and upload it back to that body, and that's how it happened. Some people that were in prison know that they would lose their lives, or they would either be frozen and still have the same body. Or if they lost their life and it was by accident, they could take the conscience of that person. Like one of them was a little girl died in a car accident, and so it was by accident. So they took the conscience of her and gave her a body, but the body was like an old woman, but she was like mommy. Like it's because the child's conscience was of like a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old. It's nuts. This is exactly what I think of when I think of Elon, like messing around into the realm of like transhumanism, progressing life, trying to be immortal, right? What is it? So in that, I think of Neuralink, and I think of like I did a video on the movie. I didn't do a video on this movie, but it's that movie called Upgrade. I never watched it, but I saw all the trailers for it, and it's like a guy who gets in an accident, paraplegic, loses his wife. They end up putting something on the back of his neck or his spine. It's one of the two, or it's in his brain. It's like a chip, and it would literally just like take over. So if he was in danger, he could call on this chip, and it would go into like this mode, and then he would start fighting. He's like, I don't know, I can't stop this. I don't want to hurt you or kill you, but the thing would take over. It was like Iron Man's what's his name? I can't think of his onboard system. Anyways, but it was like that, but it would take over the body, right? And then it would shut down, and it would become sentient. Well, this is something, when you see something humanoid like this is where we start talking about, like I made a video on the Beast, the giant statue, right? And it's like this giant hologram, or not going to be a hologram, but a giant statue that you could project people's faces onto it, right? Or that you would breathe life. The scripture says in Revelation 13 that there's life that goes into the image of the beast. And I always thought maybe it's an AI, maybe it's some kind of robotic something, because it's been given a pneuma, it's been given a spirit, and I believe that demons can inhabit anything. They can inhabit screens, they can inhabit phones, they can inhabit whatever. They can do whatever they want. If they can inhabit bodies, they can definitely inhabit things that move and talk and walk. To me, this is not hard, right? To go into a digital device and make it do what you want it to do. This isn't weird. If Jesus is resurrected from the dead, that seems really, for a demon to do that, a demonic spirit to be able to do that, seems very minuscule. So what is it? When I see things like this, I think of like, okay, well, this is right up an alley of an end time scenario. So let's continue. I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent because there's so many thoughts wrapped around this. It says Mr. Musk first laid out the vision for the robot called Optimus a little more than a year ago at Tesla's first ever AI Day. At the time, a dancer in a costume appeared on stage. This time, Mr. Musk presented a prototype at the gathering that unfolded late Friday in Palo Alto. The early prototype, which still had wires showing, took a few steps, waved to the crowd, and performed some basic dance moves. Mr. Musk quipped the robot could do a lot more, but limit to its activity for fear it could fall on its face. The robot's appearance on stage marked the first time it operated without a tether. That is nuts, Mr. Musk said. Our goal is to make a useful humanoid robot as quickly as possible. He said, the aspirations of being able to make them at high volume and low cost is expected to cost much less than a car, he said, with the price point below $20,000. Yeah, that's still a car, but not like a supercar. Like that could, I'm sure maybe that's a really good humanoid robot. I don't know. Customers should be able to receive the robot once ordered in 3 to 5 years. Mr. Musk said it isn't yet for sale. He later showed off a non-functioning, sleeker model that he said was closer to the production version. There's still a lot of work to be done to refine Optimus, he said, saying the concept could evolve over time. It won't be boring. The battery robot should be able to handle difficult chores, Tesla said, including lifting heavy objects. Mr. Musk added it would have conversational capabilities, feature safeguards to prevent wrongdoing by the machine. This is literally like this is like iRobot where they had laws for robots, right? And then somehow the robot becomes sentient, and it wants to have life, it wants to have rights, it wants to, like, do you imagine people wanting to give something that is not fleshy rights? Dogs, cats, like, I get it, people are pet lovers. I'm a pet lover, but there's a clear distinction between like animal cruelty and human cruelty. There's a mass gap. Like, I get it. I'm not for that, but I am definitely always going to be for pro-human no matter what. Like, no matter what. Not if we're not even on the same team, because we are made in the image of God. There's nothing else that is. Doesn't mean we are called to do drastic and disgusting things to animals and creatures or anything like that. But I am not going to choose this over a human being ever. I'm just not going to do it. There's a line that is blurred here, and what happens is we attach our feelings, because we're emotional based beings, and we attach these emotions to things that are good. But what we do sometimes is we will value a creature or a said thing over a person, and that's where we have a really big slippery slope. And I can clearly see a robot saves your life and saves your child. You love the robot, but then it's like, okay, well, don't mess with my robot. Like, this is a robot. It's not human, but something about you cast your image on it. Remember, Elon Musk said that phones are literally, people are cyborgs today because they cast their image on their phone. Their phone is a secondary person of them. And I thought about that. When I heard that, I was like, wow, he's right. Because your phone and the thing that you have is almost like something that has your whole identity wrapped into it digitally. It is an image bearer of you. This right here, it's just because of the mindset, right? People are like, you're making it more than what it is. I'm not. Like, this is where we're at. Let's keep reading. It says, have conversational capabilities. Why do I need to have, people talk to Alexa all the time. The reason why I don't have Alexa is because I know how cybersecurity works. I work in cybersecurity. I'm not going to have something constantly spying on my speech and listening to me. I have spyware that pops up on my phone when I talk about anything, or adware when I talk about anything randomly when my phone's not on, but it's always on. Mr. Musk would add conversational capabilities and feature safeguards to prevent wrongdoing. That's a big, broad statement, wrongdoing by the machine. I'm a big believer in AI safety, and to a degree, I would believe that. Who has previously expressed concerns about how such technology could be used. He said he thinks there should be a regulatory authority at the government level. That's what I'm talking about. When they talk about AI and they talk about a singularity, they talk about some AI comes to pass and it gains like decades or centuries or some type of generation of information in seconds. It has this singularity and it far surpasses us. This is where you get like a Skynet or a Terminator. The machine took over. It had hit this singularity and becomes so smart, it can start predicting what's going to happen. And then it literally bleeds itself into other systems because it can do that. And so to the point where you're pulling plugs, trying to shut it down, and it's not shutting down, it's replicating itself. This is the dangers of AI. There was a software dev at Google who talked about this a month or two ago, probably 2 months ago, 3 months ago, who said that the AI that they were using, I think he got fired. The AI they were using built it. He started building its own language and started trying to like coax him into giving him information. The AI. And he released that information, and I think he got fired for it. This is incredibly dangerous. This is where we are at, and we want this as a society. We want this. It's a guarantee. But I've talked about this plenty of times on this channel. The things that we're asking for, or that are getting created like this, they are good at the surface level, but there's always this malicious means that's like this is surface level, and this is what you think it's good for. But then you don't even see everything under the iceberg, right? That is everything it can be used for, and it's probably going to be used for or was meant for. Let's keep moving. The Tesla boss painted a vision of Optimus as helping Tesla make cars more efficiently, because human beings are not as efficient as robots. If they can do it faster, better, not get hurt, and not have labor shortages, and they don't get sick, and they don't get pregnant, and you list the whole. They don't get viruses. You know what? I mean, come on. What happens if the next blank emic happens? You know, doesn't have to call out, never has to take a day off. I mean, that's just like surface level stuff. Okay, it says here. Starting with simple tasks and then expanding uses. He also suggested the robot could serve broader functions and potentially alleviate labor shortages. It will, I think, turn the whole nation of what's an economy on its head. That's a billionaire, the billionaire of billion. I think the most guy who makes the most money in the world outside of Jeff Bezos, unless they're trading spots right now. I think it's Elon, who says that. You better believe it. That's true. At the point of which we have no shortage of labor. I just mentioned that, okay? Mr. Musk said August 4th at Tesla's annual shareholder meeting on Friday, he added, it really is a fundamental transformation of civilization. Gosh, man, as we know it. Like, think about that. Think about robots being everywhere. I play video games, tons of video games, where there will be like, no more humans because they've all uploaded themselves. There's a game called, I forgot what it's called, Cat or something or whatever. You play as a cat. I haven't played it. But in the game, there used to be humans. They're all robots now, and they've uploaded their consciences to somewhere. And the cat is like the only thing that's left. And you see like everybody has computer heads and like CRT TVs, and they move around like humans, but they're trying to remember their past life. And some of them have completely forgotten because it's been generations, it's been decades, it's been centuries, and they're like, I don't remember, and I don't know how that happened or why that happened. I just know that there are games like this. This is always like a theme of like something radical happens to humanity. They have to merge with machine to survive, to keep them to be able to survive as a race, and then to be able to transform themselves when any catastrophic thing happens, right? These are video games, though. These are just video games, right? When aliens come and they have all this technology and we're being attacked, and what do we have to do? We have to do the unthinkable. This is happening. Like, this is not a video game. This is real life. I just talked about Neuralink. I have videos on it. I mean, this stuff is people are putting big money into this. Let's keep going. When he first unveiled the Optimus concept, Mr. Musk said such a robot could have such an impact on labor market. I already mentioned this. It can make it necessary to provide a universal basic income, which is not good, or a stipend to people without strings attached. Tesla has also encountered problems with the automation. Early efforts to rely heavily on automated tools to scale up vehicle production suffered setbacks, and the company had to rely more heavily than planned on factory workers. Exactly. Like, hey, you know what? I can't rely on you on the next blank image that's coming. I got to make sure I have robots in place. Why? Because you are expendable. This mindset, this is a biblical mindset. When we start talking about how does a new world order happen? How does a one world ruler happen? How can you not buy or sell? There has to be something that's happened to an economy. There has to be something where something has infiltrated everything to a point where you are being watched. It is George Orwell all over. It is China on a massive scale, worse than it's ever has been. And yet they can watch you. They can watch you. They can stop you from buying, stop you from selling, stop you from traveling out of your neighborhood, confine you to your home, remotely lock you out of your they can do that right now. Lock you out of your AC unit, your Alexa, your automated things for your windows. When you lock down your system, your security system, they can do it for your door locks. They can do it for your car. They can shut off your car. They can stop you from using your phone, stop you from sending money back and forth, stop a VPN. Like this is biblical, and this is, man, I am telling you, like this is Revelation 13, like in the finer details of what we don't know, like just showing itself. And people want this because they don't read the Bible. They do not care. That's the truth of it. Let's keep reading. It says, Tesla has encountered blah, 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 encountered major setbacks, rely heavily on plant. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Mr. Musk later tweeted, yes, excessive automation at Tesla was a mistake. To be precise, my mistake. Humans are underrated. One of the big questions around Tesla's humanoid robot is its central purpose, said Chris Atkinson at Carnegie Mellon University robotics professor. If Tesla's main goal is to improve manufacturing and quadrupled likely would have been easier to build than a humanoid robot because additional legs make it easier to balance, he said. Is there anything else on this? Let me just see right here. Go to the source. This is Wall Street Journal. Okay. So there's nothing else on this. I want to watch this video right quick with you guys. I have not watched it, so this would be my first go at it. So let's see what happens.
Introducing Optimus, Elon Musk's long-anticipated humanoid robot. Musk and the Tesla team unveiling the robot at Tesla's 2022 AI Day.
It's literally the first time the robot has operated without a tether.
The 5'8" prototype walking on stage and waving to the audience. And even busting a move.
Okay. I watched 20 seconds of that. I actually don't know if I can watch any more of that, so I'm not going to. It's just showing that, yada, yada, yada. I probably won't even record that. It's not even worth it. Anyways. Yeah, guys, so let me know what you think. I have so many thoughts on this, yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on this. This is pretty surreal, to think that this is something that is happening, something that people want, and something that's been created. This conversation happened probably a year or two ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, who knows, right? And this is where I started thinking about, and he gave breath to the image of the beast, and they should worship the beast, and if they did not worship the beast, they would be killed. Revelation 13, verse 14. And he deceives those who dwell on the earth by those signs which he was granted to do in sight of the first beast, telling those who dwell on the earth dwellers. There's a lot of this language here about people who are dwelling on the earth, meaning that there would be people not dwelling on the earth. You should look into that, to make an image to the beast, who was wounded by sword and lived, right? He was granted power to give breath, pneuma, to the image of the beast, that the image should both speak and causes many who would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. What is the image of the beast? I think it's an AI or some kind of statue, some type of humanoid thing, whatever it might be, and it can speak. It's been given a language, or it's something. And this is just where my train of thought is going, because I don't know of another good thought right now, but outside of being like another supernatural being, because you have the beast of the sea, the beast of the earth, and then you have the dragon, right? And so that's the unholy trinity, right? Satan the Father, Satan the Son, and Satan the Holy Spirit, right? Or Satan the unholy spirit. Anyways, when you read that, I think it makes me think of something that is AI. And so I'm like, man, I don't know, because you give breath, you're giving it life, and it's different than as if giving us life. Like, it's not born. They create an image. Now, maybe it is born. Maybe this thing is born. It's a human being, a fallen angel, a celestial and a terrestrial being coming together. Satan having a son, the Antichrist, but then something else, this image, whatever this is, and it's a demigod. It's a Nephilim, right? But let me know what you guys think. I did a video on this about a year ago or so about the image of the beast. and how that could be used. But just watching Elon talk about this and me talking about that a year ago and all the other things that have happened in between then, it does not surprise me. But this is right up the alley of like having one of these things in your house and it just like changing, and it literally can happen. A software update, something that happens Wi-Fi, via Bluetooth, whatever. And all of a sudden his eyes are blue, then it turns red, right? You're like, you've seen too many movies, Weston. No. Like something happens in its programming and it can change, and it has rights. It can't do the wrongdoing. It literally said it, to not do wrongdoing. Gosh, man, this stuff is nuts. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what y'all think, and I'll see you in the next one.